Did you have a textbook driving your curriculum? Did you go beyond your textbook? How can you inspire your students? Usually, initial interaction in the foreign language classroom, intercultural communication is possible based on cultural stereotypes of generalizations. It is like in a trip, opening our classroom and taking our students to look out that window, allowing them the opportunity and a moment for exploration about cultures, different of what they know or what they think they might know. Globalization has considerably increased chances for the rise of intercultural interactions, which have become an essential ingredient in the teaching of foreign languages to promote the acquisition of ICC, intercultural competence. But now we have to look what is the role of culture and communication. They need to go hand by hand. In the language teaching field, our field, language and culture should be always together. Language in the right context is necessary to resolve differences. Language acquisitions requires a key ingredient, which is meaningful interaction in the target language, and speakers will be concentrated in the form, not on the form of their phrases, but in the communication to make the point across, and to understand there is a need to connect at a personal level. So, what is the role of culture in context, play in any interpretation of meaning? Think walking that street, arriving to the hotel just around the corner, and us be able to communicate, asking for directions, and being aware of the difference between the cultural groups, individuals as members of many groups within the same cultures. We need to take advantage of this possibility. Take a minute and observe. Now, the first language in our classroom is usually English. We should use it as a bridge to explore and to understand by looking at newspapers, novels, magazines, and the authentic materials from the other cultures. The students need to be understand and know, then to expect perfect language is imposing English as the only way. It's an auxiliary language, but not the community language, instead of embracing the values of multilingual learning context. It's not because it's something new, it's because it validates all practices such as code mixing, code switching, that has been recognized as a standard practice of multilingual people for many decades. Exploring other cultures by language. The learner here will start to discover how people of diverse and complex cultures group together locally and nationally. We need to allow the learner to be exposed to different voices altogether, different voices. Technology can play an essential role in supporting and enhancing language learning. It depends on the knowledge and expertise of a qualified teacher who manages and facilitates the language learning environment. That is important. The role of technology is a tool that supports language learners to use the target language in culturally appropriate ways to accomplish authentic tasks. Language learning opportunities following social media about your chosen culture. It's a great thing about the internet. When students can learn about other cultures and be so aware of other beliefs and values and personal biases, it can be confusing. But by doing this, the students to be able to think and to use all the resources available to be able to have cultural awareness and to understand the diversity in our world. Where students can learn about cultures, become self-aware and understand their own beliefs and understand understand their own personal biases. That's what is so important to volunteer, to practice language with others, to offer help to people in their community who speak the students' language, as a second language, visit schools and organizations in our communities, to ask for volunteer teachers and offer to help people in schools, churches, and other parts of our cities to learn the language. Mentoring matters. We as teachers could be role models between our communities. Our institutions have the Floyd Family Mentoring Program. It's available to us teachers to provide a positive impact in our students and our children in the city. I am interested in incorporating mentoring into our classes in the following spring. I would like to introduce all my classes to this opportunity to work outside the classroom to practice language but to serve their community. That is what I think at the end foreign language should be. Integrating community, authentic building foundation of one-on-one mentoring. I am sure other natural collaborations will result with these efforts. We as teachers could be authentic, real, life, meaningful, purposeful, communicate, relevant, and have cultural competence within our classroom by interacting as one. Thank you.